What would you say to little Michael who moved to PEI in grade 3?
Do you want my full name? Michael Joseph Morrison. Originally from Montreal, Quebec. I was only 6 years old when I went with Mom and Dad and my sister Linda, and we went to downtown Montreal, the Place des Arts, for a concert that featured two of my mother's teenage idols, Harry Belafonte, along with Nana Mouskouri. That is where my love of music really started. What brought us here, it's thanks to my dear father when the position for manager of the Canadian Coast Guard base came open. My dad won that competition, and as he's still fond of saying today, the roots just got planted deeper and deeper down into the red island oxide soil, and there's no way you're gonna move us now. They'll bury me here. I still remember the first thing that we did. We arrived on August the 31st, which was my mother's birthday. It still is. And we went to Brackley Beach and as a family and made a birthday cake with the sand and filled it with white shells to represent candles and sang our happy birthday, then went out for supper that night. But so that was my first visit to a beach on Prince Edward Island was that. Mom and I can remember vividly going to see at the former Kennedy Coliseum a concert that featured the late Johnny Cash with his wife June Carter, and for that tour they brought along Hank Snow as their special guest, and so we got a chance to meet them all. When the Trailside opened up in its current location in 2020, this is where my love of music was reborn within. Certainly the experience of being able to come here and sit in my usual spot is so that I can be exposed to new types of music, so that I can broaden my mind and just let the vocals, the instrumentals, and the different styles speak for themselves. Yes, the current ones, and I have my favorites, country, Alan Doyle, Irish Mython. I keep a running list of every show I come to, because how else am I going to remember them all?
Do you know how many you've been to so far here? You can probably.
Pat, that's a question for you. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I'm guessing it must be up over 100 easily.
Well over.
Music is a huge part of your life.
Yeah, always will be.
Yeah. So you moved here in grade 3. What schools did you go to?
My classroom was located at Holland College in what was then referred to as a special education class. Even at that age, I knew that I would be among friends, but we didn't have the opportunity to integrate with the rest of society. It was like we had our own spot, and that was where we stayed. So I'm glad it's changed now. And I'm glad the terminology around what would have been called disabilities then has evolved to that, because one of my favorite sayings is, you take the DIS away, and then what word is left? That's what everybody wants to be recognized for, what they can contribute. And it's the way people look at me now. We were invited to move our class to Stone Park Junior High, and I really welcomed that because it gave those of us who were able and wanted to the chance to at least take some of our subjects outside in the regular school system, if I can put it that way. I had always wanted to be what was then referred to as an Easter Seals Timmy. I got a call one day at home. They had told me that I had been selected, so that was really when my public speaking ability started and had a chance to shine, and then moved on from there to Colonel Gray High School. Graduated with honors and a lot of pleasant memories. Since January 2000, I've been employed by the provincial government. I monitor media, print, radio, and television. I work from a home office. They have made really sure that I have the same professional development, social, and other opportunities. And so what more could I ask for?
What's another one of your hobbies that you're passionate about?
I have to refer to amateur brackets ham, H-A-M radio. It allows you to communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world. 95% of the time, it is for fun. But just from an emergency communications point of view, if there is a time when we can help, we'll be ready to do it at the service of our communities, at the service of our province. My furthest contact or communication, I was invited back to Stone Park because they knew I was a licensed ham radio operator to make the initial uplink contact to an astronaut, Chris Hadfield. We couldn't see it, but at that precise moment, the International Space Station passed straight over the roof of Stone Park. And as exciting as that was for me, the greatest joy was to be able to pass the microphone off to each of those students who asked him their question, and that's my Chris Hadfield and Space Story.
Yes, I have been very determined. I'm lucky because from day one, our family have been very close to each other. And if it wasn't for the sacrifices they made for me, and I'd need hours to tell you everyone, and I'm not going to. But if it wasn't for the sacrifices they made for me, I wouldn't be where I am. And
if I could, I would, and I will, that I would dedicate this interview for all they've done for me. This is for them. And you know why.
What would you say to little Michael who moved to PEI in grade 3?
That in his own way, he should be proud of his accomplishments and, if I might say, proving the, in quotes, experts who said that he wouldn't be able to do A, B, or C, that he's done it and he continues to do it and will continue to keep aiming and challenging himself until he draws his last breath.